welcome to card number 5. So I'm starting off with this Stamping Bella Yoga Bella image that I stamped onto CC Designs Copic Quality cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm using my Prismacolor pencil crayons and odorless mineral spirits to color in the image. I've talked about these in other videos. Yeah, just artist quality pencil crayons. I got them at Michael's. I used a coupon because they're quite pricey. And then just blending stumps. And then this is artist grade mineral spirits. I used the Grumbacher brand. I bought mine at Michael's. I think Gina K Designs still sells odorless mineral spirits, and then One Crazy Stamper. If I remember, I'll try and post links to them. So yeah, I did the skin first, added a little bit of pink for the cheeks, and then just blended it out with a mini stump. And I started to do the hair, and then decided to blend the little headband first, because the hair I didn't plan on blending at all. I just chose 3 different shades of brown, and then just drew it kind of in streaks to kind of mimic hair, obviously. So just kind of something fun. I like using the Prismacolor pencils, this method for images like this Bella, that they're like really small and very detailed. So it's easier to kind of get in and color with these than it is like with Copic markers. So this used to be my go-to method for coloring, and I don't do it very often, but I do get a lot of requests for it. Down the road, I'll try and do more videos specifically on it. But yeah, and then I keep mine stored. I have this little tiny glass jar that I just cut up a sponge and stuck it in there, and then I just dump. I pour the mineral spirits in there, and then I just press the stump against the sponge, as you can see, so it can absorb. So the stump absorbs the mineral spirits, and then that's what you use to blend out the pencil. So it's kind of actually a really simple method of coloring, and you can layer a lot of colors when you do this. I usually keep it fairly simple. I'll do 1, maybe 2 colors on like the same image. I don't get too technical in detail, but you can. Like, I've seen some other people's work that is phenomenal what they can do with it, but I just like to have fun with it. So once I've got the image all colored, her little yoga mat I paper pieced. I'm using my new Carta Bella Beautiful Moments paper, and someone commented saying Carta Bella is like a sister company to Echo Park, which makes perfect sense why I love it so much, because I love Echo Park. So I paper pieced her mat, and I used my Tombow Mono Multi to adhere it down, and then I just used a black Prismacolor for that little flower on the mat, and then blended that out with the stump. And then for the shading, I used my W3 Copic marker. So much faster doing shading with Copics. That's one of my favorites. I'd rather that than using Prismacolors, because it takes way too long using the pencil crayons and blending them out, whereas with the marker you just stick it down, blend it out, and it's good to go. So I used the W3 and then blended that out with I used W1, sorry, and then blended that out with W00 and then used 0. So yeah, my pattern paper for the card is these gorgeous Carta Bella papers. I really love them. I used my largest circle spellbinder die to die cut the circle, and then I adhere that onto the card front with part of it just hanging off, and then you just flip it over, and I just use my scissors and follow along the line of the paper and trim that right off, just like so. So then adding the second piece of pattern paper I'd chosen. So then I've got that, and then for the card front, I'm going to mat that with just some pink cardstock. So just like so. And then for the main image, I wanted to add some ribbon. So this is AmyRs. I'm using some faux suede ribbon and my Making Memories ribbon slot punch. And I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to punch a hole. I kind of went back and forth for a little bit, and then decided to punch it lower down. So I just made a mark on the cardstock, and then move that so I don't punch right through the card. I just wanted to go through this one piece. So punch that hole out so the ribbon can go through, and then thread the ribbon through. This is really thick ribbon, but it's so pretty and soft, and I don't use it very often for some reason. I don't know, I think it's because it's so bulky, which is just funny that I would avoid a bulky ribbon when you guys see like how much crap I put on my cards. Like, I'm always putting like Primas and Brads and glitter and dimensionals and all this stuff. So why I avoid using thick ribbon is beyond me. So I pulled it out and used it for this. So I matted the main image on some black cardstock, and then adhered that to the card, just kind of keeping the ribbon out of the way. And then, yeah, wrapped the ribbon around and then just tied it in a knot. So this stuff ties really nice too. And I prefer doing knots with this, again, because it's so thick. Like a bow would be huge on a card like this, and it would just kind of overwhelm the entire card. So tied it in a knot, trimmed it off, and then it's perfect. So then for the sentiment, I chose this relaxed sentiment from my Oh So Beachy set. Thought it was just perfect. I had to, like, as soon as I saw my Yoga Bella image when I was flipping through some of my stamps, I was like, oh, I have a perfect sentiment for that. So I stamped it with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and then just punched it out with my Stampin' Up! 1 3/8" circle punch. It fit perfect. So I adhered that to the card. And then I had to add a few primas, so I just dug through my stash till I found colors that went with the card. So I just got kind of a burgundy-ish color and a gray one and then a yellow one, and just attached them to the card with some black brads. And then that's it for the card front. So I put tape over the back of the ribbon so that my ATG will glide over that smoothly. And get that on there. And I'm going to adhere this to the card itself, which is some burgundy cardstock. So get that attached, and then the card front is done. So then for the inside of the card, I kind of followed the same layout that I did on the outside. I just die cut another large circle from the same pattern paper that I used on the front, and then I used that remaining polka dot piece that I'd used on the front that was left over. And then just a piece of white cardstock for a space to write something on, and then I just matted that with black again because it just like finishes it off and makes it look nicer. So then get that adhered, and then I'm using the companion sentiment to the Relax from the Oh So Beachy set, and just ink that up again with the VersaFine ink, and then stamped it onto the pink cardstock. If it had been smaller, I would have punched that one out with a circle too, but because it's so long and narrow, I just trimmed it out in a rectangle. And then I'm going to adhere that to the card and then put all that on the inside, and that's all there is to it. So as always, there'll be a link below to my blog post with links to the supplies. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!